Can gallstones go away on their own? You know, just go and disappear. In theory, they can. I mean, if you change your habits, from habits that, well, promote building of stones to habits that promote dissolving of stones in a natural way, theoretically, they can work. A good friend of mine tried that. She had gallstones. She knew exactly what I was suggesting to her. She decided that she can overcome it without all that fuss. And a year later, she successfully reduced the centimeter of size that she had at the bigger stones to 9 millimeters out of 10. That was a year later. So it's not impossible, but it may well take a very long time. And the big catch about naturally dissolving and then spitting the stones out, so to speak, is that when they get small enough to fly into the ducts, they very often will get stuck if it's done spontaneously and not meditatively, premeditated with a process that prevents them from getting stuck in the first place. Okay, so it's not impossible to lose the stones. I mean, I've had even a client once who started using lecithin, and a couple of weeks later she was saying, "Oh, I have green stool. What is happening?" She apparently was pouring out a lot of gunk from her liver and gallbladder spontaneously without pain. But that was one patient in 30 years. Do not wait for this to happen. That's called a miracle, no less. Much more likely, if you wait, even if you change your habits, but you wait, it's more likely that you will learn the suffering of gallstones over time. The likelihood that they will just be there forever quiet is only proportionate to the likelihood that you will always stick to a strict lifestyle and diet. I mean, strict. And sometimes there's no other option. I mean, with very elderly people who are very sick and have a lot of complications and don't have the strength to deal with the flushing, that's very often what I would work on. And very often, you know, they would go through painful attacks once in a while because they would simply not be able to hold to that strict diet 100% of the time. And, you know, they would forget, or they would, you know, be tempted to something sweet and very oily, or any of the other options. You know, it's just hard to really be that strict. So it's much more realistic, and it's a whole lot less demanding, you know, to just flush the stones out, build your preventative measures. But if you thoroughly flush them out, even if your preventative measures are 80% strict, 70% strict, hell, even if you are totally neglecting the prevention, if you thoroughly cleared out the stones, you will probably have quite a few years before they are rebuilt to the point that they will cause you suffering. I mean, most people don't start with gallstones before their 30s or 40s or 50s, which means they've lived a very long time building those stones before they, well, realize they have a problem. So if you thoroughly flush out the stones, you probably have quite a lot of years to play around if you really want to. Of course, my suggestion would be flush them and then find a way to balance your life in a reasonable lifestyle, the kind of which is probably going to be happy for your body altogether, not just your gallbladder and your liver. The impact of a bad lifestyle is never on one organ. It's just one of the, you know, the gallbladder is just one of those places that shouts early. It's like one of those early warning lights. So, to sum it up, gallstones don't just go away. Not in 99.999% of the cases. They require us to learn a lesson and implement it. It's about diet, it's about drinking enough, it's about moving enough, it's about dealing with your emotions and your stress levels, it's about dealing with the frustrations of your life, whether it's professionally or in your marriage or in any other aspects of your life. It's about making your life better. If anything, the gallstones lessons are some of the most important lessons for a good life there are out there. So don't ignore them. Embrace them. Change your life, and you will not only be more healthy for it, you will probably be a lot more happy, serene, and, well, satisfied with your life. So if this is interesting for you, that's exactly the focus of my community. You know, it's a very new and fresh community. I've been doing this for 30 years in Israel, but this is in English, so this is a new community, and the link will be below. You're welcome to join.